All right, folks, today is Friday, November 28th, 2025. It's the day after Thanksgiving, and it's not much different from Thanksgiving itself. So, first off, let me say happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I hope you had a great one. It was just super busy for me yesterday, so I couldn't do any kind of video or anything to wish you a happy Thanksgiving live, but I do hope that you had a great one. And what I mean by today is not much different from yesterday is that it's basically the end of November, but as you can see, it's bright and sunny, clear blue skies, not a cloud in the skies really. This is very typical for a Southern California Thanksgiving, even though a couple of weeks previously we did have kind of a winter storm that came down from the north. But aside from that, it's now back to normal. So yeah, like I said, yesterday was super busy. I cooked up a 23-pound turkey and had, I think, 12 people over. So when you cook up for that many people, it's quite a chore, and I basically did most of it myself. Had some sides that I bought and reheated, but for the most part, cooked everything. My partner made a beet salad, and then we had a great time. But yeah, it was a long day. Kind of started early, and we finished pretty late. So I think we were all tired, but yeah, it was a great day. And part of the walk today is just to help me walk off some of that calories. But it's also a time for reflection. So let's talk about what I'm thankful for, and then hopefully it gives you some thought. I know this Thanksgiving holiday is kind of a made-up holiday, for lack of a better word. I mean, it's tradition for sure, right? But I think the mythology of Thanksgiving is it's just that, it's a myth. But regardless of that, it is a tradition, and it is a time just to take stock of everything we've gone through almost an entire year now. So it's always good to do that little bit of reflecting and think about what you're thankful for. So for me, first off, super thankful that I live in a great neighborhood in San Diego. It's a nice neighborhood that's super quiet compared to other parts of San Diego because there's not a lot of traffic here, and it's mostly single family homes, and it's just very nice and quiet. But at the same time, I'm 10 to 15 minutes from downtown. And really anywhere I want to get to, in terms of eating, visiting my mom, what have you. So just super thankful that I actually found this neighborhood, which when I was moving some 8 years ago, I really didn't think about this particular neighborhood and just kind of ended up here. And in case you're wondering, this particular neighborhood is called Tierra Santa. And the reason that it's quiet, no traffic and all that, is that there are only a couple of ways into the neighborhood, and you have to leave by the same road. So even though it's super convenient, we back up to an open space regional park, the Mission Trails Regional Park, and yeah, you can't drive through it. So they call it a dead end neighborhood, but it just means that it's super quiet. You have no reason to be here unless you live here or you're visiting. So very thankful to be in San Diego and to be in a neighborhood like this one. The other reason for me to be super thankful is for my friends and family. I'm an odd bird, to say the least, because I'm somewhat unsocial, but I do value the relationships I have, and I really am thankful for it. I'm just not the kind of person that would do the reach out and things like that. Totally my fault. Clearly admit it. That's That's just not how I'm wired. Kind of a loner, but I'm happy that the people in my life are putting up with all that and are reaching out on my behalf. So, you know, can't complain and got to be thankful about that. Hi. But it does make me reflect a bit and realize that, you know, I can do more, and I try, but it's really hard to go against your own nature. But regardless of that, I am thankful for the friends and family that I have in my life, for sure. Third, even though I complain about work sometimes and all that, all in all, it's given me quite the opportunity. And over the last 25 plus years, I've essentially been with the same company, and I've had opportunities to consider leaving, going elsewhere and all that. And in the final analysis, it just didn't make sense. So I ended up staying. I didn't advance in my company as much as others have done, but a lot of that is just by design. You know, I don't really have an interest in that. So it is what it is, and I'm actually happier for it, because the reality of the situation is that the higher you go up in any organization, the more responsibility, scrutiny, more is expected of you, and frankly, all of that is really not for me. I try to provide as much value as I can in my role and insight as needed, and I think my organization, my team values that. But you know, I'm not that ambitious, which is kind of interesting for most people, because I would describe myself as competitive but not ambitious. So they do they do find that quite at odds. But if you really know me, that's not as odd as it may seem. So regardless of that, I'm thankful for that opportunity that I've had and continue to have. So even though sometimes I describe working as trading your time for money, it really is, in the end of the day, what you're doing. You have a finite resource in in terms of time. We never know how much we have in reality, but it's finite. So you trade some of that for money, especially when you're first entering adulthood, and you need to make your own way in the world, and there's not a lot of resources to your name. So it is what it is, but I think a lot of people put more stock in it than they should, in terms of letting it define who they are. I have a slightly different view of it. I certainly value it, but I don't let it rule my life, so to speak. So regardless, though, I am very thankful about that. So it is that time of year where it's just good to take a walk or just sit down somewhere quietly after all that gluttony that we enjoyed, and really think about what you've had to be thankful for all year. So that's my list. I think it was 3. I'm not quite sure, but I'm not going to make this video too long, and I'm just going to continue my walk and enjoy this beautiful day in Southern California, and the weekend that's going to be coming here shortly before we go back to the grind. So in any case, I do sincerely hope that you had a great Thanksgiving yourself, and that you're enjoying some well-deserved time off. Talk to you later.